Welcome back to the NDA National Tournament 3-on-3 here in sunny and hot Bettendorf, Iowa. I'm with Cowell. We are live again in the Landjet. We're in the air conditioning. We're treating you well. We're going to get the legs back for you so that you guys can get some wins here. So a special thanks to Landjet for treating us right. Again, Crawford is also giving everybody $2 off pints, so head right down the street there and get the best beer in town. But we're going to get to know Kyle a little bit better here. He represented Team USA at the U19 level up in Montreal. Spoiler alert, they got a bronze medal there. Not a big deal, but before we get to, I guess, that great game and that great performance, you, to me, seem like a perfect example of how most people view ball hockey to begin with, whether it be 5-on-5 with ball hockey or deck hockey 3-on-3s. So tell us about how you got started with the actual sport and then how they brought you into playing deck.
Yeah, so I've been playing ice hockey all my life, ever since I was 3-year-old. But when they brought it into Waterloo, you know, me and the boys were talking. We're kind of just like, yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's just street hockey, you know, 3-on-3 street hockey. You're just out there playing with your friends. And I played 1 year. My buddy started up a team, the Dirty Lou Bezos, and we were a D2 plus team there in Waterloo, and we were just brutal. We didn't really know the technique and the strategy behind deck hockey. We're kind of just out there slapping the ball around, trying to put it in the back of the net. And then this past 3 months or so, I started to get pretty deep into it. I was just called up to sub for a game in Waterloo, a D2 team, and I showed up in my shin guards, my regular hockey shin guards, my hockey gloves, I actually had to borrow someone's deck stick because I didn't even own one. But I ended up tearing it up and put up like seven goals, and Kelly Schoonover was there.
Yeah, well, and for context too, this was a bit of a recruitment process for some of the guys with Team USA, correct? So they were kind of looking at him as a potential talent to maybe represent the country up in Montreal. So, you know, what was the thought process going into that game? I mean, how serious were you taking it, and then how did that all play?
Yeah, no, the game in Waterloo wasn't my tryout. I didn't know anything about it then, but Kelly Schoonover was there, and he had been in contact with Nick and Pat. And he called him up, and he said, yeah, we got this guy down here. I think he's got some potential. So Kelly messages me, and he asked me if I had any interest in it. And I was like, you know, I just started a new job, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'd have time for it. He's like, well, I'm going to get you a try-up set out, and will you go to it if I set it up? I was like, yeah, I suppose. So Kyle Schott, who was the captain of our U19 team, I have to give him a lot of credit for getting me into this. We drove down here one night, and we played in a D1 deck game against Traco. No, I played on Tracos against the DB Bandits. And I get down here, and I shake Nick's hand, and he's like, hi, I'm Nick. And I'm like, hi, I'm Kyle. I was like, I didn't know anything about it. And I didn't know that these guys were just the biggest deal in deck ever. And I was like, you know, just some casual guys playing deck down here. No, they take it serious down here. And I hop in my first game, my first D1 game, and I was like, wow, this pace is just crazy. And it was raining out. I didn't have rain shoes on. I just had regular shoes on. And I just started playing, and I really didn't know what I was doing at first. But then second period hit, and I started to get the feel for it, and I started getting comfortable with the pace a little bit and making some decent plays, getting some solid shots on net. And they talked to me after. And to be honest with you, I think the only reason at first they took me was because Kyle Schott, and he's one of my best friends, so he was kind of talking to Kelly. He was like, yeah, I know he's not the best, but it'd be cool if he could come with me. And they're like, yeah, it's okay. And Kyle Schott's the best player on the team, so, like, you want to make him happy. So he's like, yeah, we'll trust you on this. So I started playing, and I just started playing some D2 games up in Waterloo, and I kind of caught on, finally got some nice deck gear, and then came down here for a practice for the first USA practice, and they talked to me after. They're like, wow, it is a night and day difference from when we first saw you here in the D1 game to now. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I started, watching YouTube videos and seeing what they do and, watching the strategy. It's just...
Exactly. So basically when you start taking it a little more serious, you upgrade the equipment, you start focusing your... I mean, he's played at a relatively high level here, folks. Don't let him sell you short here. Like he, gets a handout. He's a talented guy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have him on the show. But let's transition quickly to actually the play in Montreal. So once they give you the thumbs up, you're practicing with the team, all that. What's it like going on the road, and what's it feel like, I guess, originally just to represent your country? Is there a lot of butterflies involved with that, or what's going through your mind?
So for sure, the week leading up to Montreal, it was crazy. I mean, I was just so excited to go there. And, the road trip up there, it was like 18 hours. We all drove there, and it was long, but, I mean, it was cool to see all of Canada and go to Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. But when we got there, Monday night to the hotel, me and the guys, we were just chilling out and hanging out, and they were all joking around, and they're like, yeah, I mean, this is gonna be fun. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. We're playing for Team USA, like we're representing our country. I mean, it doesn't really hit you until you step out there and you're playing, and they're playing the national anthems for all the teams, and like this is like mini Olympics. And no, it was really cool. But as far as the play goes, if I played like I did up there, down here, I'd get penalties all the time. I mean, they let everything go up there.
Sure.
It was pretty much full body contact.
Well, it's to be said, too. I mean, this is the highest level of play that, is available at the age of 19. But so speaking to that competition, you guys had some ups, had some downs. I'm not going to lie. I was worried about you guys early on. I had a couple of hiccups there. I was worried a little bit about team chemistry. End up making it into that bronze medal game, and it's do or die at that point. I mean, you want to go home with the medal. If you lose this game, you go home with nothing other than a couple of memories and some pictures. So what were the boys talking about before the game to get hyped up, and what was the plan going in?
Yeah, so basically the plan was to just, create chemistry, and Nick and Pat really pushed that about us hanging out at the hotel before all the games and, talking over what we're going to do, because, 3 hours leading up before the game, I mean, that's actually 5 hours when you start thinking about it, thinking about the game and what you're going to do, preparing for it. When we were there, everything was just, it was different because, all these guys coming together from different states. I mean, we had guys from out east, and we had guys from Quad Cities and Chicago and Waterloo, and we all came together, and we only had the one practice together to try and build chemistry. So the first game was pretty shaky, to say the least. Other than, I mean, we did play the best team.
Sure.
Quebec. They were very solid.
Yeah, they were studs.
Best U19 team up there for sure. But yeah, the chemistry was just, it was hard to build in the first game because we were losing, and everybody was getting mad, and there's those two kids on the bench are always like, yeah, keep your heads up, and people, losing that bad. I mean, people were kind of getting down on themselves, and that's we weren't really worried, but we were definitely, it was definitely an eye opener. We went into that game, I think, a little bit cocky because we looked sharp. I mean, we had the best uniforms there with everything. we looked good and we were feeling good about ourselves, and then the ball dropped and they were flying around. We're like, holy crap, this is so different.
Yeah.
But yeah, we came together and we eventually figured it out.
Pulled it out and got the bronze medal. Brought it back to the States here. So last question for you: what's the future got to hold for you as far as ball hockey? Are we going to see you on the national stage again, or what's the future hold? Or is it undetermined? Who knows?
Yeah, I really don't know much about it at this point, but I'm just gonna keep working and practicing everything Nick and Pat have taught me, and hopefully get into some nice league games up in Waterloo to keep that pace up and stay in shape, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we hope to see you on the world stage again for sure. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us a little bit. He's an American hero. He's pretty humble, let me tell you, boys. He's got some skill. Again, I want to thank Landjet for the beautiful digs that were in here, keeping us out of the sunshine and treating us better than we should. Again, remember, Crawford is giving you guys all the pints are $2 off. So if you can't get an RAC like this guy, you can go down there, soak up a little air bath, and get a nice beer in your belly. We're going to be periodically doing more interviews as the weekend goes on. We'll have tournament coverage throughout the entire weekend. Remember, NDA3on3.com is a site for all the game stats. If you guys don't have a chance to come out here in the heat and watch all the games unfold. Again, I just want to thank everybody who's been subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Facebook. We got the Snapchat rocking and rolling. Don't forget deckhockeyfocus.com. We're here, Bettendorf, Iowa. Hopefully 52722 can lock it down again this year. I think we're looking pretty good. But we'll have continued coverage of the national tournament all weekend.